Okay, first of all, let me welcome all of you all for the session on MCS for the Feb 2024. So, management level case study paper is a fairly straightforward paper for you to pass. There is no much complications available. It's a straightforward paper. SEMA wants you to pass. SEMA wants you to pass. There are no hidden agendas available. There are no tricks available. SEMA wants you to pass. Straightforward paper. You just need to answer some very practical questions. Of course, some people do fail. Some people do fail. They do fail because they go beyond what SEMA is all about. Entire idea of SEMA is based on one specific thing, which is what? Which is we are going to give you very practical questions and you need to give very practical answers. However, sometimes students try to drop in all the theories that they know of and try to reproduce theories for which you get 0 marks. So, unless you do not follow the basic guidelines, this is a very practical paper. I am sure all of you all can pass this paper. Of course, there are certain critical guidelines that you need to follow. There are certain critical guidelines that you need to follow. As an example, there is a pre-scene document available. The same pre-scene for November 2023 would be applicable for February 2024. Same pre-scene paper available. All what you need to do is be absolutely familiar with the pre-scene. Be absolutely familiar with the pre-scene. These are requirement number one. These are requirement number one. So now, how will we help you to achieve the first requirement? How do you achieve the first requirement? Simple. The way to achieve the first requirement is to do our KYP. In our studies, there are 10 steps available. First step is called KYP. Second step is called KYI. The first step is to get familiar with the pre-scene, which is what we call KYP. KYP stands for Know Your Pre-scene. So, how do you actually get to know the pre-scene? Well, our recommendation is to go through our KYP. Of course, we can read the pre-scene entirely little later as well. But the step number one is to be looking at the KYP. So, for you to pass, you need to have a very reasonable understanding on the pre-scene. KYI, the step number two, which is know your industry. KYI, step number two, know your industry. You need to have a reasonable understanding about the industry as well. To be fair, if you want to get to know a company, if you want to get to know a company, then the best thing is for you to know how the industry behave as well. Without knowing how the industry behave, you will not be able to get to know how the company will work, because each and every company will have an impact from the industry where they are in. In any industry, there are critical things, there are non-critical things. In any industry, there are ways and means of things are done. So for any company in that industry, those are applicable. That is why the second stage of KYI comes in. So those are the first two stages of our studies. There are 10 stages in total. First two are KYP and KYI. 3, 4, 5 to complete the first 5. Third one, third one is what we call a deep dive. Third one is called DD, which is a deep dive. After you go through the pre-scene, after you go through the KYI, Then we would like to challenge what is given in the pre-sale. In the deep dive, we would, in the KYP, we just try to learn what is given in the pre-sale as it is. In the deep dive, we ask critical questions like, can this be? Can this be? So deep dive is actually in-depth analysis of the pre-sale. Deep dive is actually in-depth analysis of the pre-sale. Right? Then, then stage number 4 is called GR, which is the ground rules. Which is the ground rules. GR, which is the ground rules. Because on the exam day, there are basic rules that you need to follow in doing the exam. There are critical things that you should do, and there are certain things that you should avoid. So those comes from SEMA partly, and mostly they will come from us, Nanaska. For last 15, 20 years, we have been teaching for the case studies. We talk to the people who pass, we talk to the people who fail. And when we talk to the people who got a very high mark, when you talk to the people who did not get a very high mark, you will be able to create what you should be doing on the exam day. So those rules are given as ground rules. Stage number 5 is called co-activities, because there are 5 co-activities available on the exam. So those are the first 5 stages of our course. In total, there are 10 different stages available. The first 5 is what we have discussed just now. So first one is KYP. What do you mean by the KYP? What do you mean by the KYP? Right? So this is an easier way for you to understand the pre-sale. This is an easier way for you to understand the pre-sale. Now, just to get a very basic idea about it, this is what our organization is all about. This is what our organization is all about. So if you look at this, I am sure if you look at this page, you will get a very good understanding of what our organization is. You will get a very good understanding of what our organization is. Right? So let's try to do that a little bit. Name of our company is called Kapka. We are a quoted public company. We are in a country called Welland. We are in a country called Welland. We operate 214 new car dealership across Welland. So we are a car dealership company. Nothing complicated. Not a very complicated industry for us to understand. Simple, very straightforward industry. Simple, very straightforward industry. We are a car dealership organization. So how many car dealerships do we have? We have 214 car dealerships across Welland. So Welland must be a reasonably a big country. We have 214 car dealerships covering all the key cities of Welland. Each dealership sells new and used cars along with related product and services, parts, finance, and insurance. Wow, that means we are into many different type of businesses. Do you agree? I think we are into many different type of businesses. So can we read this line again? Can we read this paragraph again? So we will get that idea. 214 car dealership. Okay. Across Welland. Fine. Each dealership sells new cars, used cars, and the related products like spare parts, like finance, like insurance. So this is what we are. This is what we are. So I will come to this paragraph in 1 minute. I will certainly come back to this paragraph in 1 minute. But look at the rest. We have a strong reputation for sale of good quality used cars and for excellent customer service. So that is our unique selling proposition. Currency is W dollars. That's understood. Country is well learned. So currency is W dollars. We are not a very new company. We started in 1964. We started as a family company, but now we are a public listed company. So we started as a family company in 1964, but today we are a quoted company. We are a public listed company today. So maybe family must have sold their shares, right? Family must have sold their shares now. Now it is a public listed company. Or family might hold a small percentage. 1964, 100% of the company was owned by the family, I am sure. So we had 214 new car dealership, 25,000 staff, right? So this is only the first slide of the KYP. There are 100 slides available in the KYP. This is the second slide. Look at net profit margin is 12%. Not bad, not bad. Gear in is 20%, 22%, not very high. So likewise, the KYP goes on. Likewise, the KYP goes on. So there are so much of details available in the KYP, which I'm not trying to go into all the details now. I'm not trying to go into all the details. Even in the KYP, we have given you a little bit details about the history of the car dealership. We have given you a little bit basic details about the history of the car dealership. How the car dealership started in the world. I mean, where did the car dealership start? In 1906. What were the car dealership happening in so many years ago? And then it comes to in the real world examples. These are very interesting real world example called Lithium Motors. Very real world example called Lithium Motors. It's a very interesting organization. It's a very interesting organization. They have the car dealership for the best car brands in the world. There are 21,000 employees that is available. There are 21,000 employees available. This is interest. So Lithium Motors is not our case study. Huh? Lithium Motors is a real world car dealership available in America. There are 314 car dealership. 314 car dealership, 21,000 staff. Very similar to our organization. That is why we are given the details about it. So likewise, KYP has so much of details about what we are doing. But the first slide of KYP, which is this, first slide of KYP will tell us a lot of management accounting issues that might be there on the exam day. So don't worry about management accounting, but worry about the business. Don't worry about management accounting, but worry about the business. Assume you go into this company as the CEO now. Today you have taken over as the CEO of this company, Kapka. Kapka is a public listed company. So you have been appointed as the CEO. If it's a public listed company, it is. You need to inform the stock exchange when the new CEO is appointed. Even the profile of the new CEO should be sent to the stock exchange. Everyone should know that there is a new CEO appointed and what is his background, what is his profile. So your profile has been sent. You have been appointed as the new CEO. Stock exchange has been briefed about your appointment. All of those had been done. All of those had been done. All of those had been done. And these are very brief that you have received about the company. Only one slide is given to you. Very first day, no? Second day, second week, next month, you will get so much of details. You'll get so much of details. Here it's not like that. Here, since you just appointed, you have been given only one slide. You have been given only one slide. Right? So now, can we read this slide? Can we read this slide again? Take 2 minutes to read this slide. Take 2 minutes to read this slide. Read the competitor part as well, the part that I did not read. Read the competitor part as well. Quickly read it. Okay. Can everyone confirm you can understand me? You can hear me very well. You are on the right track. You feel that something is happening. Just say yes if you are happy so far. Okay. Okay. Very good. Read the slide now. So you have been appointed as a CEO. You have been given information about only one, just one page of information, one slide of information. Read the entire slide again, then we will talk. Okay. So now, now, if you read this slide, then as far as SEMA is concerned, SEMA is very clear what their objectives are. SEMA is very clear what their objectives are of doing this exam. SEMA has given 5 core activities. SEMA has given 5 core activities, right? And these 5 core activities are the ones that will be tested on the exam day. For the management level case study, there are 5 core activities given: A, B, C, D, E. All the exam questions will be given covering these 5 core activities. Each core activity will have an equal weightage. Each core activity will have an equal weightage range. Each core activity will have minimum of 15%, maximum of 25%. Each core activity will have minimum of 15, maximum of 25. So if examiner wants core activity A and B, examiner can give 25%. Core activity C and D, examiner can give only 15%. Examiner can do that. But examiner can't ignore any of the core activities because each core activity should cover a minimum of 15% and none of the core activities cannot exceed 25%. Examiner will have to be within this range. And when you read the core activity, as an example, read one of the core activities, look at the core activity D. Read core activity D, measure performance. So when you say measure performance, you might not be very clear what do you mean by measure performance. When you say measure performance, you might not be very clear what you mean by measure performance. Don't worry. CMS define each and every core activity again. Core activity D, which is measuring performance, core activity D, which is measuring performance, is broken down into 5 sub areas available. Is broken down into 5 sub areas available. So you exactly know what each and every core activity means. You exactly know what each and every core activity means. And on the exam day, you know core activity D, should have minimum of 15% of the marks, maximum of 25% of the marks. So all what you need to do is you need to look at these 5 core activities carefully. And if you know these core activities very well, without a doubt, you will be able to get a very decent mark. So all what you need to do is to look at the core activity And through the eyes of the co-activities only, you need to look at the pre-scene. You can't just look at the pre-scene. You can't just read the pre-scene as if you read a newspaper. You need to look at the pre-scene. You need to look at this company where you were appointed as the CEO in the eyes of the co-activities. In the eyes of the co-activities. So let me do a critical evaluation of this page. But to see whether you listen to me carefully or not, can you tell me, can you answer this question in 5 seconds? Can you answer this question in 5 seconds? So you have 5 seconds to answer this question. Question number one. How many co-activities are available? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, very good. Next question. When I teach management level case study, there are 10 steps available. There are 10 steps that I teach. Which step cover the co-activities? Which step cover the co-activities? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Which one? Very good. I'm very happy. That means you have been listening. Okay. That means you have been listening. Thank you very much. That's very good. So this page should be looked at from that co-activities angle. You can't just read this page. You can't just read the pre-scene. You need to read the pre-scene in the eyes of the co-activities that have been listed. So let's do a little detailed evaluation on this page. Okay, it's a car dealership. It's a public listed company, which means we need to be extremely careful. In a public listed company, we need to be extremely careful because it is not only the financial performance, it is not only a financial performance, but the share price performance is also matters a lot. If there is a negative reputation is available about the company, share price can come down. If the share price can come down, entire company might cease to exist in the present form because someone might come and take you over. So share price is very critical for this organization. Reputation is very critical for this organization. So one of the core activities is about the risk faced by the organization. One of the core activities is about the risk faced by the organization. So when you are a public listed company, you have additional risk. When you are a public listed company, you have additional risk. You have a reputational risk available. You have a reputation, so you need to ensure that you protect the reputation of the organization. As an example, some people are coming to us and saying, look here, you have sold the car, we thought it's a very good car. After we bought the car, there are so many issues available. This is very unfair. People are fighting, people are shouting, people are sending emails. Maybe about 1% of the customers, not everyone. But 1% of the customers, not everyone, not even 2%, 1% of the customers are sending emails. They're shouting, they're very unhappy. We have sold the cars, they think that cars are not good. Well, on the exam day, when you hear about that, you shall remember, we are a public listed company. Therefore, this issue can create a negative reputation and it can have an impact on the share price. So we need to be extremely, extremely careful. Okay. Are we clear? Since we are a quoted company, we need to be extremely careful about the customer complaint about car quality is bad. Are we in agreement? If you are in agreement, just say yes. If you are in agreement, just say yes. Okay. If you are in agreement, just say yes. Can you tell me one more reason why we should get worried when we hear customers are complaining the cars that we sold are bad? Can you tell me one more reason why I should get worried? Can you tell me one more reason why I should get worried? I want to know one more reason why should I get worried. One reason is the public listed company, but I need to know one more reason other than being a public listed company why we should get worried. No, share price we discuss now. Because we are a public listed company, we'll get worried because it will have an impact on the share price. Chintaga, I'm asking other than the share price, other than being a public listed company share price, that is one reason. There's one more reason why we should worry about that. Not competitors. Not competitors, Stanley. There's one more reason why we should worry about. Not share price because we discussed. Competitors, wrong. No, not competitors. Why? Goodwill is again reputation. Goodwill is again. The other reason is again on this slide. The other reason is that is our key selling point. That is our key selling point. Why do people buy cars from us? Why do people come into my company to buy cars? Because I have a unique selling proposition. I have a unique selling proposition. That is my key selling point. My key selling point is good quality cars are being sold. If that get damaged, my entire business model might collapse. If that get damaged, my entire business model might collapse. So I should be extremely worried. And being the CEO, now I would like to know how much profit I make by selling new cars, how much profit I make by selling old cars. What percentage of revenue comes from selling new cars? What percentage of revenue comes from selling old cars? That's a critical information that I need to have. Because I was told very, very clearly we are selling new and used cars. We are selling new and used cars. Therefore, it's a critical information that I need to have. What is the revenue that I get by selling old cars? And what is the percentage of profits and sales I get by selling new cars? It's a critical information for me to have. It's a critical information for me to have. Okay. And it will be lovely to see how much profit I make from selling insurance, finance, and at the same time the spare parts. And same time the spare parts. So you got to calculate the profit for each segment separately. You got to calculate the profit for each segment separately. For you to calculate that, there will be some direct costs that are very easy to make it applicable for each area. But there will be indirect costs that you need to allocate into different segments. Okay. Think about an example. As an example, I want to calculate the profit from new cars separately, profit from old cars separately. Then I need to calculate profit from the insurance, profit from spare parts separately. So one of the questions that will be available is marketing manager's salary, CEO salary. What percentage of CEO salary should go for old cars? What percentage of CEO salary should go for new cars? It will not be a very easy decision to make, right? What percentage of CEO salary should go for leasing? What percentage of CEO salary should go for financing? So that will not be easy. But that kind of decisions will help us to calculate the profit from each and every product separately. The profit from each and every product separately. Of course, somewhere else in the pre-scene, they have given that idea. Somewhere else from the pre-scene, they have given that idea. I am on slide number 71 now. They have given this idea. Read it. and see whether you are clear enough. Read and see whether you are clear enough. Read and see whether you are clear enough. Read and see whether you are clear enough. Okay, did you get the point now? I hope you got the point, right? I hope you got the point. When I get 41% of revenue from the new cars, I get only 20% of the profit from new cars. Oh my gosh. When I get 41% revenue of the new cars, I get only 20% of the profit from the new cars. I get 35% from the 35% of the revenue from the used cars, and I get 24% of the profit from the used cars. My gosh. Which one is more profitable? New cars or used cars? More profitable. Which one is more profitable? Used cars or new cars? Looks like used cars are more profitable. Looks like used cars are more profitable. And look at one more. Look at the parts and services. Revenue 17%, gross profit 35%, which might be the most profitable. Don't worry about now, we'll calculate it. But which looks like very, very profitable. Look at finance and leasing. 7% of revenue, 21%. 3 times. Very, very profitable. But we need to understand, we can do finance and insurance because we sell cars. So just because you have very high profit from finance and leasing, you can't stop selling cars, obviously, right? Spare parts and services, even though very profitable, we can do that because we sell cars. And one of the last statements I want to make, I'm sure people are buying used cars for some. I'm sure people are buying used cars from us because we sell new cars. I'm sure people are buying used cars from us because we sell new cars. So you can't, just because one sector is less profitable, you can't take it out. But you need to play the overall game on the profitability. You need to play the overall game on the profitability. So this is how I will look at the slide number 1 from the eyes of 5 different core activities available. From the eyes of the 5 different core activities, that is what you should be doing with the KYP. That is what you should be doing with the KYP. So KYP is the first document that we are trying to go through with you. It has 100 slides, and that's the first document that we are trying to go through with you. Of course, KYI will be fun because it's about cars, it's about car dealership, various type of different car dealerships available. They first of all talked about the cars. Some old cars, and then they will come into the car dealership. They will ask you, what do you mean by a car dealership? And they will go to the industry examples of various different car dealerships that's available. And a car showroom, what does it look like? There is a workshop attached to the car dealership as well, because some of the repairs are done. And the actual data in the world. Automotive research and development expenditure in the actual world. So KYI has 80 slides, but KYI is about the industry. These are about the used car industry, right? These are about the used car market. So KYI is the second document that I will go through with you. So I'll start with the KYP, then I will move on to the KYI, and then we'll go into deep dive, in-depth analysis of the pre-C. Then we look at the uh, ground rules. What are the rules available for you on the exam day? Then we look at the 5 core activities. The other 5 steps are refresh theory. Sixth one is refresh theory. So this is a critical topic. Refresh theory is a critical topic because in the refresh theory only, we will look at we will look at E2, P2, F2 complete knowledge. Anyone who is coming through the FLP, anyone who is coming through without doing E2, P2, F2, they will get the full brief of the three theory subjects under refresh theory. Section number 7 is called practice, where I'll give you one mock paper with the answer for you to get an idea about what kind of questions comes on the exam day. Section 8 is called reality. You will answer maybe 7 mock papers on our exam engine, like on the exam day. Very good practice for you to get an idea of the rehearsal of doing mock exams will happen there. Right? 9 and 10 stages are there. I will not go into detail of that. Stage number 10 is one-to-one support. Stage number 9 is a mix of various things like possible issues, like power mock, like finance mock. A lot of things will come in 9, but that is for you to do a great revision before you. So this is how our course is structured. Okay. Now, time for you to ask questions. Drink some water and ask questions. Drink some water and ask questions. Any questions? Any clarifications? Any questions? Any clarifications? Any questions? Any clarifications? Any questions? Okay. What is scaling of marks in the case study exams? Okay. So that is something that is little complicated, but I'll try to explain for the benefit of everyone. So when you do the exams in February 2024, there'll be three exam papers. On the same pre-C, 3 exam papers. You will be given one paper for you to do, randomly selected paper. When you go and click exam start, random numbers will work out and they will pick a paper randomly and give it to you. So when you do the exam, having a friend next to you, when both of you all do the exams at the same time online, you might do one paper, your friend might do entirely different paper because there are 3 papers available. So now you understand, whenever there are 3 papers available, one paper might be slightly more difficult than the other paper. That's possible, no? One paper is slightly more difficult than the other paper. Now, do you agree with me in such a situation? It will be unfair to have the same pass mark. Are you clear? It will be unfair to have the same pass mark. Do you agree with me? Afra, Siraj, do you agree with me? Because one paper is slightly more difficult than the other paper. So you can't pass a student with the same pass mark. Are you agree with me? Others, are you all agree with me? Therefore, what SEMA does is, SEMA will have slightly different pass mark for different papers. Some papers we will pass from 62. Some papers are very easy. Pass mark is 58. Average pass mark is 60. Some papers might have 62. Some papers might have 58. Okay. So far clear, right? If clear so far, please say clear. So far clear. Different papers will have different pass mark now. So now we can't issue marks. How can we issue marks? No, it's like this Afras. There's one paper that is difficult, other paper is easy. So both the papers you can't give the same pass mark. Are you in agreement with that? One paper is difficult, other one is easy. You can't give the same pass mark. Are you in agreement? Just say yes. Now, difficult paper pass mark is 58. Easy paper pass mark is 62. Is it clear? Is it clear? Because easy paper you need to get. So then it's clear. Therefore, three different papers will have three different pass marks. Now, SEMA can't issue the marks that you got. Why? SEMA will have to say student A 62% fail, student 2 59% pass. It will be a major confusion if we do that. The results will be like this: 62% you fail, other one 59% you pass. It will be a major confusion. Why did we fail the student who got 62? Because it's a very easy paper, pass mark is 64. Why did we pass the student who got 59? Because it's a very difficult paper, pass mark is 58. Therefore, we will not give you marks, we will give you what we call a scale score. So you won't get your marks. In the scale score, what we do is we mathematically equal the pass mark and we give a scale score for your score. So the one who pass will be below 60, one who fail will be below 60, one who pass will be above 60. Don't worry about that complication. But this is the logic behind the scale score. This is the logic behind the scale score. I don't think you should worry about that complication. I told you because you asked me, but that's the magic available. So let's start the work from the next week. On the very first day, I'm trying to do the KYP. If there are any questions, you can always contact me on my mobile. If there are any questions you need to contact, you can always contact my mobile. I'll give you my number here. I'm going to start with the KYP. My name is Anand. I'm lead lecturer at Nanaska. I work as a CEO for a public listed company. So my experience generally becomes very useful. For you to teach MCS and SCS, you should be a CEO of a public listed company. Then only you will understand the real game behind it. An examiner will usually give questions from the real game, nothing from the theories. Nothing from the theory. So all what I need you to do is, so just my name is Shan, so and I am on the SEMA Global Council. I work as a CEO of a public listed company. I am sure that experience will be useful for me. So send an email to info@nanaska.com, register ASAP, register ASAP, and we'll start the sessions from the weekend. Okay. Thank you very much. Good night. Goodbye. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. If someone who does not have prior SEMA case study experience, will there be impact for phase? No, no, nothing like that. You don't need to do the brush up. I will do that from my end. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do any work on your own. We will be doing that. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye.